Yeah, I really hope I'm going to talk to them again and see if I can get them to figure out how to do the virtual camera thing again, because
So you can put your own angle on there, like
so
you can run it through here.
I can
and
run
then,
it through there, and then I can control everything.
Right.
And then it should be encoded.
Right.
That there should be no encoding problems because it's going through an encoder.
Right.
And then there are so many more options of what we could do production wise.
Right.
From over here.
Yeah.
You know.
You could add in all kinds of stuff,
which I used to do.
Right.
I used to use Manycam to do it, and I had intros and outros and tags and little gifs I could pop up when people did things and whatever, whatever, all kinds of stuff.
Tanzania, that's cool.
All right, so welcome everybody. Hello Belen, hello Tashana. Hello, Amanda and Toy and Zoe and Echo and Vitamin and Min. Rahul, hello. Winfrida, and Bella Shu and Eri, konnichiwa. And Thanu, hello. And Thais and Nisiro. Hello, Sonia and Feliciano and Meg and Asma. How's everyone doing? Yes, welcome to my 1000th live stream.
Woo!
Yeah.
We could put fireworks on the screen right now if we were on there, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Welcome to my 1000th live stream.
Yahoo!
$1,000 streams. Wow. Shut up, Meg. You just finished teaching and you're tired? Yeah, I know what that feels like. Thank you, Feliciano. I'm drinking coffee.
Me too.
How many have you seen? Right, I know, Belen. Yeah, Belen has been to probably more of my live streams than any other person.
Yeah, wow.
I think. Hello, Mona. Thank you, Thanu. So today is supposed to be English Origins, right? English Origins live stream. And yeah, I think we'll do a little bit of that. Maybe we'll just do some random English Origins where you can ask me some words and I can pull them up and we can find some new fun meanings together. And maybe we'll pull a prefix or two, or suffix or two in there and see.
Go down the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Hello, Mona.
Thank you, Tashana. I really do need to get better about thanking people for gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Although I also have forgotten to withdraw my gift funds for the last 2 or 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So
they,
I need to,
they can pile up. Yeah.
Although I think that you might lose them after a certain time. I don't know. So, Vitamin, the topic is English. We're going to talk a little bit about etymology today, but English. Let's just start with a simple thing. Give me any English word that you want to know more about. Give me any English word that you want to know more about, and we will talk about that. Yeah, they're not worth that much. That's why I don't even pay attention to Shauna. I pretty much stopped thinking about the coins when they started doing them. I even kind of told them I'm not interested in any of the promotions about coins or anything like that, because I'm not trying to waste all my time here talking about coins. I'm trying to talk about English and culture and learning and growing and that kind of thing. So, to be honest, I want to care, because I think I'm supposed to care as a host, but the truth is I don't pay too much attention. But I also don't want to be rude about people who do give me gifts, So I need to be better about saying thank you, that's all. You share it with your mods. Oh, there's an idea. There's an idea. Maybe I'll do that too, Tashana. That's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Duh. See? He's not so smart. Yeah. Thank you for that idea. Okay, so do we have some words already? What are the words? You want to know about China? Is that the word you want to know about? China? Okay, let's look at the word China.
A curious sort of story about that one time, but I can't quite remember.
It says of uncertain origin, probably from the Sanskrit word Sinas,
right,
meaning the Chinese.
Right, from like the Sino
which is where they also might get the word Qin dynasty from.
And Emperor Qin Shi Huang, I think that was part of that was another guess at where the name came from.
Yeah, so the word China comes from the Sanskrit word Sina, which led to the Chinese word Qin, which is pinyin Qin, right? The Qin dynasty. And so Qin, China, that's where we got the word China. Okay, what else do we want? Bustling? Bustling is the next word to look for. Bustle, to bustle, to be active and noisy in an agitated way is to bustle, right? So this word comes from the 1570s of uncertain origin, perhaps of, let's see.
Dang, they're getting some good ones. Couple of uncertain origin.
Yeah, so this one comes from an English word, an Middle English word, breastin, or bursten, meaning to rush or to break, which is where we get the word burst from.
Ah, yeah.
See, that is cool. Bustle and burst are related, and that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So to burst, right? To burst with excitement or energy, right? To burst with an explosion, right? Mm-hmm. So the burst is a word that we associate with excitement and energy, right? So to bustle, also.
Yeah.
Excitement and energy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so there you go. There's a good one. Okay, what else do we have here? What other words? The word friend. That's a good one because it's basic. I like that. Friend comes from the Germanic word friends, meaning lover or friend. Let's see. Before that... the German word, mein Freund.
Mein Freund.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's Old German. It's Old German, Norse, Dutch. And, let's see. It comes from a root word that means to love. So a friend is a person who's attached to another by feelings of personal regard or preference. That's what it says. And so friend comes from an old Germanic word, and the German word for friend is Freund. So, yeah, I should have known that one, actually. All right. What is the difference between words with similar meanings? Well, that depends on which word it is. But vitamin, 我常常是要说这个就是差不多的意思，有时候就是一样的意思，有时候就是差不多的意思。我常常说 Okay? So sometimes the meaning is the same, 一样的, the same. And sometimes the meaning is 差不多. It's almost the same. It's almost the same. It's close enough.
Yeah. And sometimes it's, the only thing is inflection that might change the,
Right. Or that one word has an extra meaning that the other one doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, but there is no way to really learn that. Really,
unless you have the specific words.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but there is no system about it. Words are all randomly that way. Yeah. Thank you, Eugene Marie. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Okay, what other words do we have that we want to look up? Any other words? You are so beautiful to me.
That reminds me of the Little Rascals, the movie, not the old TV show. but- You were
Hospitality.
scared to clean my
Okay,
bed.
hospitality. Let's look at hospitality. Hospitality means the act of being hospitable, right? Comes from the Latin word, let's see, hospitalitum.
Hospitalitum.
Yeah, hospitalitum, which means friendliness to guests, which is also where we get the word host.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
to offer hospitality is to be a good
Yes.
host.
Ah.
To be a good host. 你要知道，如果我会说中文吗？
我会说一点。
他会说一点，我会说一点点。Avatar. Let's look up Avatar, see where Avatar comes from. I think I remember this one too. Avatar is a Hindi word.
Yeah, because I know it means like the image or like the vessel of a god.
So
sort of
yeah,
thing.
it means the original meaning is the descent of a Hindu deity to earth in an incarnate or tangible
Right.
form.
Yeah, okay.
So when a god would come to earth and be in a person's body, that was called an avatar, and it comes from the Sanskrit word avatarana, meaning descent. Ava means off or down, and Tarati means cross over. So, yeah.
To cross over, down, sort of thing.
Yeah, so now how did we get that as a computer term? It apparently came from a novel called Snow Crash that was written in 1992 by Neil Stevenson.
Well, and it's a similar sort of thing on the internet. You know, we're just the gods that are coming down into the computer, and that's our image that we use
That's a good way
on
to
the
put
computer.
it. Right,
You
yeah,
know,
sure, that's similar. That's
it's like
similar, yeah.
your avatar is your picture or your character.
That's right, yeah. What's the main difference between friend and real friend?
Trust? I don't know.
One will bail you out of jail and one
Yeah.
will not.
Yeah, there's that.
One will be really mad if you don't pay them back, and one won't. That's a philosophical question, I think, more than anything. Karamisi. Carmesi. What is Carmesi? What is that? I don't know that one. Carmesi. It's not in my etymology dictionary. Let's see if it's in my... Nope, it's also not in my regular dictionary, Bellin. What word are you trying to find? I'm not sure. And yes, also hospitals of the same origin.
Right.
Yeah, hospital is of the same origin.
They show you the best hospitality by keeping you alive.
Can I send the world to the screen? You mean, can I invite people on stage? I can, but I will probably do a few words first. And the word ambulance is a fun one to talk about.
Yeah, it reminds me of ambulate, like move.
That's right. And the reason
Yeah.
why is because the original hospitals were tents on the battlefield.
And you would have to ambulate the tent, and it became the ambulance.
That's exactly right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So ambulance comes from the word that used to be a long time ago when you had a war. You didn't have a car that took people away. You had a tent. And so all the injured people would be brought to this tent. That was the ambulance because you had to move the tent with the battle.
Right.
So that was the ambulance, which comes from the word ambulate, meaning to walk. Onomatopoeia. Okay, sure. I always forget how to spell it.
Yeah, that's a tough one to spell. All those vowels all smushed together at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
That ain't right.
It isn't right, yeah. So onomatopoeia comes from from the late Latin word and Greek word. Onomatopoeia in Latin and onomatopoeia in Greek, meaning the making of a name or word. So it means the original meaning is from the same as what the modern
I was gonna say it's pretty much
it
the same.
means
Pow.
a word that sounds like the spelling, you know.
What?
So when you break it down, onoma means word or name. Onoma, name, nomenclature,
yes,
name.
yes.
That's where nominative, those are all words that mean name somehow. And then poion means to make or compose. So to make a name based on the sound.
Yeah.
That's what it means originally. Good one, Ornella.
That is a good one.
Hello, Nathan. What about novel?
It's got a couple meanings.
Novel does have a couple of meanings, so let's look at the noun version of it first, meaning a fictitious story or fictitious work of writing. That comes from the Italian word novella, meaning a short story, which comes from the Latin word novella, meaning new things.
Ah.
Novella, new.
Okay, yeah.
Right? It's novel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So the word novel as a noun, that's where we get the adjective form of it too. To say something is novel means to say something is new, or a new way of thinking about doing things, right? So a novel is a new story.
And it's funny when you say a novelty, it almost takes away some of the seriousness of,
It
of
does
something
now.
being a new,
the modern
meaning
of it. Yeah, it does.
But novel, like, has kept sort of its, that's a novel idea.
Right,
But
yeah.
Oh, that's more of a novelty. It's funny
Yeah.
that they're
But the
similar,
main
but
the main original meaning of the word novel is new.
Yeah.
Because you're writing
Right.
something new, right? And then the adjective version, meaning new, strange, unusual, previously unknown, right? And again, it maintains the same basic idea of being new. Oh, I can't read all that. Something about my Chinese, what? Can I tell you the difference between English names and Chinese names? Yes, Chinese names tend to have a meaning behind them, right? There's some sort of meaning behind Chinese names, and it's usually a hopeful meaning, right?
Yeah.
So you'll name your child some kind of a word that means something
a
that
flower.
those are popular, or treasure, or
strength.
right? Yeah, something like that. You name your kids after some kind of an idea that you hope will happen for them.
Right.
Whereas Western names.
Are mostly just names.
Yeah,
Not
necessarily.
Yeah, I guess that's true,
no.
because my name is Mud, basically.
So Western names, there's two parts to Western
Yeah.
names, right? We have the first name and then the last name,
Yeah.
right? The family name. Our first names usually come from, a lot of them come from the Bible.
Right.
Especially in earlier days in America.
Yeah.
Most people just chose kids' names from Bible
Yeah,
names.
Mark, John,
Yeah,
Matthew.
that's right. My father's
Yeah.
name is Paul.
Paul.
So a lot of Western names, if you're from a Christian family, then it's very likely that you're choosing Christian names from the Bible. That's a huge one, right? Or whatever tradition your family follows. So if you're a Jewish tradition, then you might choose names that are more of the Jewish side of the Christian religion,
David fits both.
Right, it does. That's right. Yeah. There's a lot of crossover there,
Yeah.
Or if you're from the Muslim religion, then of course Muhammad is the most popular name of all
Right.
time. It depends on which background culturally or religiously that you come from often has to do with where you choose your first names from. Family names, on the other hand, in America, Western family names often have a meaning of a job. So, John Smith, right? A Smith was a very common job.
Yeah.
That was an important job. You needed a lot of Smiths to make things. So Smith is a popular name because Smith was a really important job.
Needed a lot of horseshoes.
That's right. You got a lot of things made. Carpenter, another one. Very big job, very important job, right? So Fletcher, that's right. Yeah, to make an arrow is a Fletcher, or tailor, to make clothes, right? So I think that most Western families, their family name has some sort of history that goes back to a career that somebody in their family had. That their family was known for somehow. But on the other hand, my family name, I've traced it as much as I possibly can to try to find a meaning to my family name, which is Samson. Son of Sam, but no, and there doesn't seem to be a meaning. That name still exists in Slovakia today with the same spelling, same everything, and nobody has any sense of where that one particularly comes from.
Yeah, my mother's maiden name was Stevenson, and that's when I was in England and Scotland. There was some Stevenson, stuff here, and then that's where they're from, Scotch English, and that. So when we saw that, you figured, son of Stephen. I didn't know that there was any other meaning behind it than that. And then my last name is Volpenheim, which is a misspelling of Volpenheim, which is it means like wolf's home, which is like the woods.
Right.
So it'd be like Woods is your last name,
or Hunter,
or Hunter, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, well that's interesting. Now I will also say that many Western names do have a meaning beyond the name, but that I would say 80% of Western people don't know that or pay attention to that.
Or would ever even look into it.
Yeah, so like the name Chloe probably has a meaning beyond the word Chloe.
Right.
But almost nobody, they're not looking up the meaning and saying, oh, let's see, what does Chloe mean? Let's just find out just to see. Chloe comes from the Greek word Chloe, literally meaning young green shoot. So
it's a similar naming tradition, to China. Yeah.
However, that's what I'm saying. The difference is in China they do pay attention to it.
They've maintained that, whereas we've kind of
in America, I would say 20% of people might be looking in these books for interesting meanings and then choosing the name based on the meaning.
Right.
But the majority just go, oh, I like the name Penelope.
Yeah, I was named after Clay County, West Virginia. It's just Clay. It's not just, Clayton.
I
just
like
Clay.
This name. That's all. It's just an affinity for the sound of that name. That's it.
So I guess,
or sometimes it's a family thing. Like maybe you're named after your uncle or your grandfather or something. It's a name you carry down from another family member.
Right. And I guess technically, if Clay County, West Virginia is probably named after Henry Clay, so I guess that I'm probably named after Henry Clay.
Right. Okay, so be patient, everybody. That was a long explanation. Hello. How about Harmony? Let me make sure I'm not missing anything important. And I do need to send a message to Kaya. Kaya, are you here by chance, Kaya? Okay, and harmony, it's a great one. I love the word harmony. Harmony comes from the Latin word harmonia, which comes from the Greek word harmonia, meaning agreement or concord of sounds. Well, that's interesting. Oh, wow. So it actually comes from a word that originally meant the joining of ship's planks.
Wow.
Or the hanging of a door. the fastening of a door to the shoulder, because if you don't hang a door right, then it's all
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
in harmony.
it's
right?
inharmonious.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. And ship's planks, same thing. You have to
Yeah.
make sure that they're nice and lined up,
To be together. Yeah,
harmoniously,
yeah.
right? So the original word harmony actually means, like to build something structurally correct,
I feel
so
like-
that it's at right angles and
Yeah.
it fits properly.
Seafaring words are kind of lost these days, but I feel like there's a lot
Oh,
of
there are
stuff
a
that
lot of
comes
them.
from
Tons of them.
you
Yeah,
know,
tons of them.
seafaring and shipbuilding, that kind of thing.
Yeah, buckle down.
Right.
Yeah, there's lots of them that come like that. Okay, people. The word people. That's a good one because everybody wants to know about why it's PEO. People comes from Anglo-French, which comes from the Latin word populus.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah. But how did we get that PEO?
Yeah, that's a
in there?
good. Maybe it was one of those. We need a way to say this, and
the
let's just do it the way we did.
Old French word was popel, P-O-P-L-E, and P-E-U-P-E-L, pupel. And
They merged them together and just said
Yeah.
we'll use one letter from each of the
right.
spellings.
But see, this is why this is another reason why I like etymology,
Yeah.
because sometimes it proves that spellings are not as vital as
Right.
we say they are.
Right.
That however you want to spell it, at some point in time somebody made a decision.
Yeah.
And they may have changed that many times.
Right, and it was spelled multiple ways
Right.
before that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where it's nice to look back at the word and see, like, okay, how did we get that weird E in there?
Yeah,
And why?
uh-huh.
If the word came from the word populace, and we still have the word population.
Yeah.
And popular.
Why is it not popple?
Why is it not PEO
Yeah.
when you spell popular or population?
Right.
Why isn't the E not there? Yeah, that's right. And it's based on italic cognates and derivatives of the word populari. Oh, well, that's
Populari.
interesting. Okay, so this one, look at this. So the original word populace means a people or a nation or a body of citizens, a multitude, a crowd, or a throng. So there's another word, populari, which means to lay waste, to ravage, to plunder, or pillage. And Populonia means, let's see, it's the surname of the god Juno, which literally means she who protects against devastation.
Those are like opposite meanings almost.
Yeah, it's interesting. And actually, it says that it has an Italian root that actually means army.
It's an interesting word.
It's also the source of the Spanish word pueblo and the Italian word popolo.
Wow. It's had a lot of iterations. I'm
Yeah,
sure it's a pretty.
that's
It's
right.
It's an old word.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's got a nice long story about where this word comes from. Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Okay. Oh, that's Kaya. That's Kaya right there. I recognize the picture. Ah, there you are. Hello, Kaya. How are you? Good to see you. So guess what, everybody? How many people do we have here now? 72. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a special thing. We're going to have a special guest come on my stage to celebrate my 1,000th live stream today. This is my 1,000th live stream. So, yay. Hello.
Yay.
Yeah. Kaya is somebody who I found on Hello Talk. I was searching through the various live streams one night, and I stumbled into her live stream where she was singing and playing guitar. And she has a beautiful voice and plays guitar wonderfully. And I'm a musician, and I have a high standard.
Yeah.
But I think she's really great, and I invited her to come on my stage to perform for us a couple of songs. So, Kaya, are you ready to come and play for us now? Or do you need some time? Yes? Okay, wonderful. Okay. So, let's see here. I wonder why there's nobody in my YouTube. I didn't mention it, but anyway. Okay, let's get Kaya up on stage. Kaya, can you raise your hand? Or maybe I can bring you up otherwise. Let me see. Sometimes this thing is fidgety.
Invite on. Oh, yeah.
See, that's what happens, though. Yeah. So I have to find her in the list.
Right.
And then it's fidgety because the list moves.
Right.
I think I got her. There she is.
Hi,
Hello, Kaya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. It's nice to meet you. And
It's nice to meet you too.
yeah.
I was loving listening to you talking about etymology and all that stuff about names.
yeah, I'm an etymology nerd.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I started
Because,
learning etymology when I was like 15 years old because the first language I learned was Latin in high school.
Oh.
I took a year of Latin and I failed miserably because it's such a hard language. But I learned about etymology and I found it really interesting that all the words, it helped me with my own vocabulary, you know, to learn a lot more vocabulary words quickly. So as an ESL teacher, it has been a tool that I use to help non-native speakers try to learn vocabulary more quickly, or sometimes it's not about being quick. It's more about if the story is interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say finding interest in,
Yeah,
in
if
the
it's
language.
interesting, then you
Yeah.
can remember it. And I often get asked the question of, how can I memorize words better? I forget the words. But if the word has a cool story about where it comes from, then sometimes that's all you need, and then you'll remember the word. Yeah.
And languages like Latin are so popular to learn in Britain, at least.
Oh, yeah.
Because we get the option to learn either Spanish, French, or Latin when we are about 15.
That's about how it
And,
is here too. It used to be
Yeah.
Spanish, French,
German.
Latin, Spanish.
Oh yeah, now it's
Latin has pretty much dropped away now. Nobody cares about
Yeah.
Latin.
My dad
here
went to
anymore.
Latin school. I
Right,
think that's
yeah.
the only time you're gonna use it.
Right, and I studied it when I was younger, but I'm old, and yeah, so now in America, I think I would say it's Spanish, French, Italian.
They offer
German,
yeah.
Chinese has become more popular. Japanese has become more popular. Yeah, Latin is definitely fallen along the wayside, and I think for good reason, because it is a kind of a pointless language for most people to study. I think.
Well, language is meant to like communicate.
Right,
So if
that's
you're
what I
learning,
mean, why it's pointless,
if
right.
you're learning this ancient,
Unless you're trying to
tongue
talk to
sort
the
of thing.
Pope.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, unless you want to have a Latin conversation with the Pope or a bishop, then there's not too many people to communicate with using
Yeah.
Latin. You know. So Kaya, so that's just a kind of a thing of mine. It also is an aspect of history, and I'm a big history guy too. So, when I studied music, as you know, when you study music, you study history. You're
So much.
yeah. One of the greatest things that a musician finds is most people, when they think about music, they think about who they like, right? And so they think,
Yeah.
I like this person. But musicians will go the next step further and will think, okay, I like this person. Who did they like? Yeah, right, exactly. And then we keep going further and further
Right.
back to find out who they liked more. And that's history, and music is there are three aspects of culture that I really love: language, music, and food. And they all have history that's so interesting to learn about the connections between cultures with all of those. That those are my three kind of nerdy hobbies.
Yeah.
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 I'd say for me, I'd add on art to that list of
Oh yeah,
things.
absolutely.
Just because,
Yeah.
I've always thought and been told that if you want to paint in a way inspired by your favorite artist, don't look at their techniques, look at where they were when they were painting.
That's
where they've
exactly
been.
right. That's
So
the
for
same thing as
Cézanne,
musicians.
you
That's
wanna-
right.
Don't
Yeah.
look at his paintings. Go to the places he was painting.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's how, like, in the music industry, that's why, sometimes we call people posers. Why do we call them posers? Because you're pretending to
they're
be
just
something that
playing
you're
someone
not
else's
really.
music, basically. Yeah.
You're pretending like you grew up in that time period when that thing happened, and you're making, but it's not.
Yeah.
There are genuine moments that happen in art and music and food that change the time and change the way things are created naturally, not by force,
Right.
like pretending to do something, Yeah. So anyway, so let's get to the main event. Do you want to play a couple songs for us?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd also want to know, because this is, your special anniversary, is there any song you want to request?
Honestly, anything that you were doing that first night was so great. I love a good acoustic guitar vocalist. I'm a sucker for that. As a drummer, I used to do a lot of gigs with percussion, with at bars and in clubs and stuff, with just a guitarist and singer and me. Or keyboardist and singer and myself. So anything that you'd want to do, honestly, and to be honest, I don't really want to tell you what to do because I like to see what you want to do. I want to know what you're about,
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do. How about I do one of my own songs?
That would be awesome. That would be great. I
Yeah.
was going to suggest that, actually. So that's wonderful. Well, let us know when you're ready, and we're all waiting with bated breath.
We're all ears.
Schoolgirl in tights, lit up by soft candlelight. That was a dream I had for me. One of the most peculiar things. As I was saying, I had a kiss that bruised my lip, and I regret every second of it. It was a rushed and bad decision made without love or precision. Maybe I'm too young to really know the truth. 'Cause I don't have to be anything to you. And I had these thoughts that robbed my brain, so I washed my body till I go insane. Until all my aching thoughts were gone, and I was ready to move on. Maybe you'll never be clean from the things that you've done and seen. And I hate to regret it. I wish it was a horrible bet. So I keep busy, keep on thinking.
Wow, 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 wow. That was amazing.
That was awesome.
That was
Yeah.
truly, truly amazing. Really. Yeah. Like, honestly,
That's great.
I've been playing music for a long time, and it's so awesome to still run into someone that you go and you listen to them and you go, oh man, she's got it. She's got it. You know, it's such a nice feeling to see when you stumble across somebody. It's like, you know, it's like walking on the beach and finding that perfect pebble.
Oh.
You know, like that's such an awesome feeling. You know, every time it happens, it's still a wonderful thing. And you always wonder if you're ever going to find another perfect pebble, you know. And yeah, that's just such a great thing to, you know, even though you've been doing something for so long, to still have that sense of like, oh, that, you know, why we do music. You know, the first time we started loving music, you know, we heard them and we went, oh man, that was amazing, you know? So thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah,
that was amazing. That was really,
Thank
really
you for
great.
having me to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And honestly, I'm telling you, like, I would really, I'd be humbled to do some work with you. I would have.
Oh my God, yes, please.
I would really be happy to. And so yeah, if you want to send me some tracks that we talked about, and I'll take them to my studio with my band, and we'll work
That'll
it
be
out,
amazing.
and maybe I can get the whole band to do some backing up for you. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can do the drums and percussion for you for sure. But I bet you my bass player will be all over it. When he hears you, he'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll play bass on that. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so, yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, and we can make a little cross-cultural record together. That'd be fun. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it when people actually enjoy the music I play. I mean, I know that sounds very vague, but in the sense that when some, because a lot of my songs or the music I play, it's all a very specific atmosphere,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
it's not for everyone. But when I see people who go, yeah, I get what you're trying to do here, it makes me so happy when people can understand that I'm trying to calm, but also put a sense of emotion in it.
Yeah, of course. And you know, music is, again, it's a form of art, and art is supposed to make you feel something, right? So when
Yeah.
you go to an art museum, you're supposed to stand in front of that painting and just stand and wait till you feel something, you know?
Exactly.
And you might feel something good, you might feel something bad, you know? And sometimes that painting that you when you first see it, you hate it. But then you keep looking at it, and then next year you actually love it. You know, like the first time I listened to John Coltrane Giant Steps, it was way over my head, and I was like, what is this? This is too much. I can't deal with this. No. But then I listened to it again and again and again and again and again, and each time it took a little piece of me and, you know, like, was like, oh, no, you got to keep listening, man. You got to keep listening. It's there. You just have to keep trying, you know? That's the difference between pop music and other music. Pop music is designed by nature to not really challenge you or make you think in anything necessarily. It can, but in general, its job is to just make you feel good and be happy, and it's not a lot of deep process going on there.
It's like an action movie.
Right,
sort of,
right,
too.
right, yeah, right, yeah. But, you know, it's meant to be easily enjoyable, right? Not challenging necessarily, but, you know, like...
Easy on the ears.
Yeah, right. But, you know, Joan Baez and Carly Simon and Joni Mitchell and, you know, these ladies, they wrote songs that made you think, you know, like...
Yeah.
The lyrics were important, you know. They weren't just trying to write something to make you dance, you know. Like,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that either, you know.
Each to their own.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, the bass player for Taylor Swift is actually a friend of mine. He used to play in town with me here. We used to do church gigs together in the mornings on
Nice.
Sunday. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'd do a bar gig till like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and then I'd go to a church gig at like 6 in the morning. It was funny. Yeah, yeah. anyway,
Those
yeah.
church players are something else.
Well, the churches, the church players are pretty good now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, when the big churches were just starting up, what they would do is they would cheat by hiring ringers.
Right.
They would hire the
Jazz
local
musicians.
jazz musicians and the badass musicians
Yeah.
that were in town to come perform at their church
Right.
to fill out their band. So they'd have a couple of members in the band who were part of the church, but the rest of
Yeah.
the band was like
Do you know-
real players.
Do you know Corey Henry? You know who Corey
Oh
Henry
yeah,
is?
of course. Yeah,
he's
yeah,
the
same
man.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. Yeah,
I saw him New Year's Eve one year.
he's amazing.
Yeah, he really is.
Anyway, would you like to do another one for us? We would love to hear another one.
I was thinking if I can get the chords up. I just had an idea to do. Do you know the song "Sparks" by Coldplay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. And we'll also have to trade some music sometime too.
Oh yeah.
Because I love to, I'm an old fogey, and it's not that I don't like new music. It's just that I'm still listening to old music and finding amazing stuff, like from the 1970s and 60s and 50s. And so I use a few friends of mine. My bass player, he's my lifeline to new music, so I use him. He'll say, hey, check this out. I just found this new thing that's really awesome.
I feel like there's a lot of underutilized disco songs that are actually really good, that have awesome funky bass lines, and that are great funk songs that have kind of gotten lost.
The
in
1970s, I still contend, is the greatest era of music of all time.
Yeah.
I still think that more great music was being made during that time.
Stevie Wonder's like probably my favorite.
Oh yeah,
of all
absolutely.
time. He's-
But that time period was one where there were not quite so many restrictions on what you could do musically. They had 10-minute radio songs. They didn't, tell you what to do so much,
Yeah.
And jazz was still kind of on the cusp of popular, so that meant that again, pop music was what was allowed was
Right.
much more varied, So, but what I was going to say is I like to meet somebody who is young, who knows what's going on now and knows what's awesome, that can tip me off, and let me know, hey, check out this person, and whatever. And then I like to, I'm the consummate teacher. So, and I started as a music teacher first before I was an English teacher. Yeah. I started teaching drums when I was 18. So yeah, I would love to throw some stuff your way too. See if you know about some things. There might be a few
Yeah.
things you don't know about.
I don't know if you've heard of a singer or band called the Divine Comedy,
I haven't, but I love the name.
but they have this song called "A Lady of a Certain Age."
Okay.
I'm not sure when it's from. It's either the 80s or the 90s. It's not that old compared to the other stuff I listen to.
Okay.
But I think the lyrics to this song, it's just what you were saying about lyrics with meaning. This one is like, it tells a whole story, and I think that if this artist had a Starry Night or it had a Raft of Medusa, this song would be it for them.
Okay.
Because
All right.
it's, I think it's great.
We got to get you a microphone though, so you can do
Oh,
some
I
real
know.
show sometime here. Because honestly, you sound great right now. You
Yeah.
already sound amazing, and I'm putting a little reverb and compression on your track while you're singing and stuff. So yeah, I have all that here on my mixer. So but yeah, honestly though, you sound so good that it's almost criminal for you to not have a decent microphone to sing through.
Man,
Yeah. And all you need is a 58. I mean, you could get a really nice vocal microphone like this one, but if you just get a 58, this is $100. You
I
could.
was saving up for a Rhodes. But
Okay. Yeah. Rhodes is good too. Yeah. Let me know what your
57,
budget is, and I'll let you know some good mics that are in that neighborhood. Because if you have in the neighborhood of $300 you can get something pretty good. If you want something just that gets the job done, the 58 is the workhorse of vocal microphones for the last 50 years, you know. And the great thing about a 58 is you can literally take this thing and throw it on the ground and it will, you know, pick it back up and it'll be fine.
And record the sound effect.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen a 58 without a dent?
A dent in it. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So, they sound better when they're dented.
And so it's
you know?
like you're lucky to bite it and put a dent in it on it right when you first get it.
That's right. Yeah. But like this one here, I think I got this for. This one's a bit more. This one, I think this is about 500. For this one, this is an RE20, which is a good vocal mic, but it's also a broadcast mic and a drum mic too. But yeah, you know, we can talk about it. If you need any help with that, let me know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll help you get that all set up. And you know, if we can get you one of these mixers that I have here too. Clay just bought one as well. I use it's called a Flow 8. It's a Behringer mixer that is very, very easy to plug into. And if you have an iPad, the whole thing runs on your iPad. So it's super easy to control
or on your phone
everything.
too.
Or your phone.
I can do it on my phone as well.
Yeah, so you don't need an iPad. You just need a device, and then you can run it all in your app. And it is. I've been using it for a while. It's a really great little mixer. So, all right, let's do another song.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready. Let me get your effects back up here. Give you some vocal verb, room verb, and a little bit of chorus on your voice.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
I know I've never played this song, so
Okay, that's even
get
better.
a special
That's even
treat.
better. Yeah, and you know what, everybody? I often say on my live streams that language is a performance. So a big part of being a performer is having confidence to perform. If you don't have confidence, how can you possibly perform well?
Yeah.
Right? And so having you here is great, and that's even better that you just said you're about to perform a song you've never done before. And that takes confidence to be able to put yourself out there like that. And musicians, we learn that. So this is one of the tools of being a musician that I apply to language learning, that I tell people that language is like a performance, and you have to do it enough to get confidence that you feel like you can, you know? So pay attention, everybody. Language is a performance just like music. All right, let us know when you're ready.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Gotta. Back in the day, you have been part of the small set. You holidayed with kings, dined out with starlets. From London to New York, Cap Ferret to Capri. In perfume by Chanel and clothes by Givenchy. You sipped Camparis with David and Peter. At Noel's parties by Lake Geneva, scaling the dizzy heights of high society. Armed only with a checkbook and a family tree, you chased the sun around the cold desert until the light of youth became obscured and left you on your own and in the shade. An English lady of a certain age, and if a nice young man would buy you a drink, you'd say with a conspiratorial wink, you wouldn't think that I was 70. And he'd say, no, you couldn't be. You had to marry someone very, very rich, so that you might be kept in the style to which you had all of your life been accustomed to, but that the socialists had taxed away from you. You gave him children, a girl and a boy. To keep your sanity, a nanny was employed. And when
was sent away. Well, that was simply what you did in those days. You chased the sun around the cold desert until the light of youth became obscured and left you on your own and in the shade. An English lady of a certain age, and if a nice young man would buy you a drink, you'd say with a conspiratorial wink, you wouldn't think that I was 63, and he'd say no, you couldn't be. Your son's in stocks and bonds and lives back in Surrey, flies down once in a while and leaves in a hurry. Your daughter never finished her finishing school, married a strange young man of whom you don't approve. Your husband's hollow heart gave out on Christmas Day. He left the villa to his mistress in Marseille. And so you come here to escape your little flat, hoping someone will fill your glass and let you chat about how you chased the sun around the cold desert until the light of youth became obscured and left you on your own and in the shade. An English lady of a certain age, and if a nice young man would buy you a drink, you'd say with a conspiratorial wink, you wouldn't think that I was 53, and he'd say no, you couldn't be.
There.
Again, wow. Wow. Honest to God,
That
like
was
I'm
awesome.
sitting here listening to you and I'm wondering, did I actually find someone? Did I find somebody who's gonna be the next Taylor Swift? Like, wow. Honestly, wow. Kaya. Phew. Amazing. And the fact that that was your first time, again,
Oh
yeah.
God. You know, when you're the person playing it, if you could think how many times I messed up in my head, but that's just how it goes.
Oh, I know exactly how it is. I know exactly how it is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's how a good
Yeah, you know.
performance is. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes notes go by and you're like, oh, that didn't happen as exactly like I wanted it to.
Yeah,
you know.
I'll just keep going.
Right, but that's right. You let it go and you move on and you just keep going with the song.
And the audience
you know?
so rarely realizes.
Oh yeah, the audience never knows.
Yeah.
The audience
Yeah, nice
never
love for
knows.
that.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I mean, that was a revelation for me when I was younger, because when I was like 19 or 20, definitely when I was 19, I still assumed that the audience could they knew every
were
little
educated-
mistake.
yeah, they were educated music
So every
listeners,
little mistake I'm
basically,
making on stage, I'm going home with this tremendous feeling of failure, because I
Shame.
think everybody knows all the mistakes I've made. And then, in the next year or so, I started talking to people after each show, and they would all just be like, "Man,
sounded
you
great."
crushed it, man! You're like, it was so amazing. Yeah, like you were so great, man." And like, yeah. And then I started realizing, like the first time I went into a studio to record with my band, having all those microphones pointed at you and every little tiny thing you do that's, wrong, the first time you do it is very nerve-wracking. And every little mistake, every little one is just bright and bold to you, Yeah. But it's a good learning experience, again, to learn how to live with the mistakes.
Right.
And Miles Davis, one of my idols musically, he said there are no mistakes. The notes you play after the notes you play can change everything, right? So Herbie Hancock tells a story about how he was playing a live show once with Miles, and Miles was in the middle of his solo, and Herbie, who is a keyboardist, pianist, he's playing chords, and he accidentally played some chord that was way out of the, not on the chart at all. Very wrong notes, right? In the middle of Miles's solo. Miles heard the chord, and rather than getting mad, which Herbie expected him to be mad because he screwed up the song, no, Miles played a couple of notes that made his bad chord right.
Yeah.
And that's, an important lesson to
Right.
learn about music, that if you play it again, it's not wrong, it's just jazz.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake and do it again, it's now just, that's
like-
just your style.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, that's
opposite
right.
of James Brown, who you would hold up $5 and hold up a hand, and that'd be a fine
Yeah,
for
that's
every,
right.
every
Yeah.
missed
Yeah.
note. He would.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Anyway, wow. Yeah. And here's what I would like to do, Kaya. I would like to talk to you and see if we could make having you on my live streams a regular thing to do some performances for my audience.
I would be honored. Yeah.
That would be awesome, because I've been wanting to make my streams, include more music, most of the reason why I am popular here is because I have ideas about language learning that they haven't heard before, because I use all my background as a musician. So they're not hearing the textbook ideas about learning language. They're hearing ideas I came up with when I was teaching myself Chinese, which, by the way, she speaks some Chinese too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've heard you. I heard you say a few words. Yeah, I heard. Did you go to China or live in China for a little bit, or?
I would visit my friends earlier this year in China.
Oh,
and,
cool. Yeah.
I went in July to Zhejiang.
Zhejiang. Okay. All right. Cool. Wow. Awesome.
But the main thing is I really like singing in other languages.
Oh,
And I
that's
started with singing-
great.
Singing in Mandarin.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, so we're gonna have you sing
Yeah.
some Chinese songs then too here.
I don't know if you know any Chinese singers.
I do, because when I was in Taiwan, I lived in Taiwan for 4 years, and I used to play in a Taiwanese wedding band.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it really was. It was fun for me because I played in wedding bands here for a lot of rich people just doing, rich weddings and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I went to Taiwan and I started playing jazz a lot there and doing these wedding groups for, some extra cash on the side. And they paid really well, and they were huge banquet rooms with big stages and everything. And the bass player was from Paris, and the keyboardist was from Taiwan, and the guitarist was from Canada, and
love that.
yeah, it was awesome. We had this little imported band, right?
Yeah.
And we played a mixture of kind of half the music that I was used to playing for weddings, pop songs and jazz songs and classic wedding songs
Electric
and whatever.
Slide.
Right, yeah. But we also played classic Chinese and Taiwanese songs too. So it was fun to do a mix of both. Yeah.
Great. So
Yeah.
I can imagine the sort of songs you play at a wedding for like classic old romantic Chinese love songs. Those are all the kind of songs that
Tons
I would
of
sing.
them.
Do you know
Oh, yeah.
Qi Iron?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Right.
And,
Yeah.
余为亮代表我的心.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Okay. All right. Well, we need to make some plans then. Like I said, because especially if we get you a microphone and I have the technology to make you sound real good and everything, we can do this a regular thing. And
It would be so fun.
And it would be even better if we can do some, figuring out how you can record yourself there and video record it and audio record it and send it to me, and I can video record and audio record me playing percussion, and we'll put them together on a video.
Dream.
Yeah. I can do all that. So yeah, absolutely. Would you like to play one more?
Yeah, I was thinking I'll do a Spanish song.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome for my best friend Belen, who I'm going to Europe for my first time next month. I'm going to Spain and Germany next month. I'll be in London for a couple of hours. I'll be at the airport in London for a couple of hours. I'll be in London.
You've got time to queue.
If you want to come meet me at the airport. But I'm going to Europe for a couple of weeks, and I'm going to stay with my friend Belen here, and she's in Madrid, and she has a restaurant in Madrid. If you ever go to Madrid, go to her restaurant, Casa Marias. And so let's play a Spanish song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Charo?
No.
Yeah, she's before your day. She was an old Spanish singer, flamenco singer, and guitarist as well. Amazing. I'll send you a video of her. She used to do a performance of both Malaguena and what was the other one? She has a couple of famous videos on YouTube of her performing in the early 80s, live on TV with guitar and singing, and really amazing. Yeah, you'll love it. Yeah, so I'll send it to you after we're done here. So let us know when you're ready. We're ready for you.
Yep.
Tranquilo, no te voy a molestar. Mi suerte está agachada, ya lo sé. Y sé que hay un torrente dando vueltas por tu mente, amor. Lo nuestro solo fue casualidad. La misma hora, el mismo boulevard. No temas, no hay cuidado, no te culpo haber pasado, ya lo ves, la vida es así. Tú te vas y yo me quedo aquí.
No.
Oh, the time limit.
Yeah, I
the
forgot
Hello
about the
Talk
time limit.
Oh.
How dare you, Hello Talk?
Oh, no. No. Unbelievable.
That was brutal.
That was brutal.
That was
we
rough.
didn't even get to say goodbye to Kaya. Oh, no.
That was
Okay.
a tough one.
Well, I'm going to have to talk to Zach and see if I can get Kaya a VIP membership. Or I'm going to have to get everybody in my audience to buy Kaya a VIP
everyone
membership.
throw in $1.
Yeah, come on, everybody. Let's all chip in and give Kaya some money so she can get a VIP. Yeah, seriously, that was not fun, right? Come on, that wasn't cool.
Ugh.
All right,
that
but
hurt.
can we agree that Kaya is absolutely amazing?
Yes,
I mean, wow.
that was awesome.
Not only is she an incredible singer and guitarist in English,
Yeah.
but Spanish and
Yeah.
Chinese also,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
pretty awesome.
wow.
Yeah.
And she's like 19, I think.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah. And it sounded as good as I hoped it would
Yeah.
here, too. Because she sounded okay on her live stream.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I was
Once
like...
you got it all worked, it
yeah,
was sounding really good.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So young and so amazing. So Kaya, I don't know how we're gonna get you back in touch with me here. Let me see if I can talk to her. Hold on. Let me find her. Hold on here. Let's see. What can I do here? Hold
Yeah,
on.
Stupid time limit.
Can I call her? Let's call her. We'll do a video call on here. Hello, Kaya.
Hey.
Sorry, Kaya. Yeah, we're back here. Sorry about that. I forgot about the time limit. I forgot about that. Yeah, but you were doing so well. We were
Yeah.
loving it. We were loving it. You know what? I'm gonna talk to some people and see if I can't get you a VIP, so that you don't get cut off. I don't know if I can, but I'll ask, because for your performances alone, you should
deserve it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you deserve it. Absolutely. Yeah. But let me figure something out, because at the very least, I want to talk to you about doing some regular stuff, performing on my streams. That would be really awesome.
amazing.
And we can collaborate. That would be great too. And I would love to see if we can make this like the start of something.
Yeah.
Where we're stumbling across some, musicians on Hello Talk, because that's been kind of an idea I
Yeah.
had for a long while. When I first started doing streaming, I wanted to do a music stream where I focused on trying to find musicians,
Yeah.
around the world.
Well, you found me.
Yeah, I did. I did. I stumbled into the great one. Yeah. So everybody say thank you to Kaya. Again, everybody was loving it. Everybody screamed when it got cut off. They were like, no.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we will
We
have
broke down.
We will have you back again, Kaya. We will have you back again.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited to come back.
Yeah, and it was really awesome, and yeah, honestly, I'm stunned and shocked, and I feel like excited to have met you and heard you.
Great
And
job.
I'm
That was
looking
really
forward
awesome.
to hearing more. So
So excited to exchange music taste as well.
yeah, me too.
What kind of stuff you enjoy listening to.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We'll talk more. We'll talk more for sure. So everybody, thank you to Kaya. Everybody's saying thank you here in the chat. So we will have you back again as soon as possible. Okay.
Amazing.
I do live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around this time. Sometimes a little bit earlier, but around 9 or 10 a.m. my time, which I think is
Yeah.
I don't know, like
They're
3
5 hours
p.m. or
ahead
something
or
like
so,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4, something like that, your time. So, yeah, that would be great if you want to do some more performances. Let's make it a regular thing.
Absolutely.
Great. All right. Well, everybody, thank you to Kaya. We're going to let her go, and we'll have her back again, I promise. But thank you guys for listening to her, and everybody is clapping and thanking you now. So, yeah, we'll see you next time then. Okay, Kaya?
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Stream, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Well,
At least we got closure.
yeah, we got closure. Exactly. Yeah. So, all right. But that was amazing. That was awesome. That was really great. It was incredible. She's amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was something else.
Yeah. I love stumbling into a musician who's
Yeah.
really, like, to be honest with you, like I'm a good drummer, but I'm, when I see somebody who's like, wow, like you're so much better than me, like there's that feeling of like, wow, like I'm just a hack, like,
wasting time.
yeah, like what am I doing? Like I'm not real. Like that's real. Like, I'm just a hack, Yeah, she was amazing, right? So yeah, and we're gonna have her regularly back to do
Cool.
performances.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
gonna
be
be
awesome.
awesome. And now I think that'll help us kick off another thing. Let's see if we can't turn this into something where we try to find some. If you guys ever hear anybody performing on Hello Talk, tell them to message me or send me their contact or something, right? If you see a great keyboardist or singer or guitarist or drummer or something like that on Hello Talk, let me know. If you see any great performers on Hello Talk,
Send them to Mark.
send them to me and we'll put them on my show as a guest performer. Okay? But yeah, I'm officially going to hire her as my musical
Liaison?
my musical artist.
Yeah.
My Johnny Carson had what's his name? Doc Severinsen.
Yeah, Doc Severinsen. I was thinking of the
David Letterman had.
David or
No, what's his name? Why am I forgetting? Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer.
There
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
There it is. Okay, Paul Schaefer. Right. Yeah. So she's going to be my Paul Schaefer, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's see. So you can sing Hindi songs. That's great. Yeah, I don't care what language it is. I
Yeah.
just want to find great performers. Yeah, I don't care what language it is. You know a Chinese girl who can sing really well? Okay, well, send them to me. if they're on Hello Talk, give them my contact and send them, tell them to send me a message about it. Okay? Let me just see something. Who's in my audience here?
Mr. Damon.
All right. Well, let's get back to just a little bit of etymology.
Okay.
We'll wrap up with a little more etymology today, everybody.
Yeah.
So, so if you have some more questions about words, give me a word and I'll tell you where the word comes from and what it originally meant. And maybe there's an interesting story about it.
And hey, Miguel, over on YouTube.
Mike, you want to come up and do a performance sometime? I forgot, Mike. What do you play? I totally forgot. I think I remember that now, but what do you play, Mike? Remind me. Guitar? Oh, that's right. I do remember that now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Mike. We'll have you up sometime, for sure. Adductor. That's such a fun word.
Yeah, I'm not even very familiar with that word.
Yeah, it's not a commonly used word. To adduce something means to bring forward or present or offer something.
I was going to say, is it the opposite of abduct? Because abduct would be to take something and...
Right, that's exactly what it is.
Adduct would be to give something.
So it comes from the Latin word adducere, meaning to lead or bring in or bring along. Ad meaning to, and ducere meaning to lead. And so, to answer your question, abduct comes from abduce, meaning ab away, and lead, to lead away.
Right.
Yeah. So to adduct, meaning ADD, is to present, and to abduct is to take away, right? To steal someone away. Can I explain address? I can, and actually I think that one has a good one, if I remember right. Address, the word address comes from the Latin word adrirectiare, meaning to make straight. To make straight. So ad meaning to, and directiare, so it actually means the directions, right?
Oh, interesting, because
yeah,
I think of like addressing someone sort of thing, but I guess that's a different...
direction is the word that actually comes from a word meaning to go straight.
Oh, right, so...
Right, yeah, so to direct somebody, right? To direct somebody, right? And so this word, address, the AD means to direct somebody to where you live, your address. Okay, so now there is also another form of the word address, right? To address someone, meaning to speak to them.
And that's sort of,
you're directing your conversation towards a person who's straight in front of you. Okay? Rose, send me a message if somebody wants to come perform on my stream as a musician. Send me a message and we'll set it up. But I want to do like a special stream for that. I don't want to just have random people on random times.
Right.
So
like you had
she's
already
a special
previously
guest.
talked to her
yeah,
too.
She's a special guest that I arranged for today, and that worked out great on the 1000th stream. Yeah. So. If you want to perform, I'm happy to have you perform. If you send me a message and send me maybe a little video to show me what you do, I hate to be like that, but
just to know, you get an idea.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. And thank you for the gifts, everyone. Do I sing? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Ish. I'm a drummer, but I can kind of sing.
Yeah, I like to sing.
Yeah.
I do karaoke and
right. He sings. I try to sing.
Used to sing with my friends a lot.
Yeah, I sing harmonies. Yeah. Thank you very much, Carolina. Yes, this is my 1000th live stream today. My 1000th live stream. Hello, Dasung. Hello, Javad. Stratospheric. Okay, that one's an easy one, actually. Again, it's Latin and Greek based.
Most scientific terms tend to have kind of...
Right. So stratosphere, it means the sphere of layers. So the Latin word stratus means a spreading out. A spreading out. So let's see. Let me read a little bit more. Stere, meaning to spread. So this word is related to many other words. It's related to the word construct, construction, destroy, destruction, instruction, instrument, obstruction. Anything with struck or stre, that stera is all related to that, meaning to spread out.
Interesting.
So the stratosphere, sphere means, a circle, right? A ball, right? Meaning a globe or ball, right? A celestial ball. And then stratos means spread out. So it's spread out around the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Recipe, that's a good one. I believe it's French. No, it's Latin too. This one is good. I forgot. I did remember this one before. The word recipe originally means to hold or contain, because it's what that thing holds or contains, right?
Yeah.
So a recipe used to basically just be a list of ingredients, and then there was no instructions.
Right,
Somebody just said, make this.
Yes. Put these things together.
That's right. Yeah. Like now when we have cookbooks, they have very detailed instructions, but old cookbooks, not always. Sometimes they just had a list of ingredients and very basic instructions of what to do. Because they expected you to know it. They just expected it to be known how to do it. So the word recipe, comes from the Latin word recipere, meaning to hold or contain, which is also related to the word receive. And it was also the word that used to be written by physicians as a prescription. Yeah. So now we use the word prescription, but originally doctors used to use a recipe, But it makes sense because early medicine was often just
mixed
food.
Food.
It was just food, chicken soup.
Right.
Make this.
Yeah.
Take 2 of these. An apple a day. Keep the doctor away. Right. So food was medicine, and still is. But was the primary form of medicine back in the day, was to first start with what you eat. Right. Am I on a podcast now? Yes. Not right this second,
sort of.
But I do have a podcast.
Because this will be a podcast.
I suppose, it is, Who knows? Whatever a podcast is anymore. It is one of the atmospheric layers, that's right, the stratosphere. Rookie. We want to know the word rookie. Okay, let's look at rookie. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Rookie comes from the word... It's a combination of the word recruit and rook. So the secondary sense means easy to cheat. And I do remember that form of the word rook. He's a rook.
Yeah,
like a rude.
a
rude, right? Like an easily tricked person.
Yeah.
So a rookie was a recruit who's new. He's green.
Yeah.
He's easily tricked. He's the one that you tell to go stand out on the 9th green at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And that's when the sprinklers come on. Right. So he's a rookie. It's a combination of the word recruit, like a new recruit, and the word rook, meaning an easily cheated or manipulated or tricked person.
And that word is used these days in sports, mostly.
Yeah, and it usually just means somebody who's new.
Yeah, who's first year on the team.
It doesn't always have any kind of a negative connotation.
Yeah, so it would be generally their first year playing professional sports. They would
That's
be a rookie.
Right. Yeah.
We might call someone
Carolina wants contagious. I think. Contagious. Contagious comes from the Latin word contagio, meaning touching or contact. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Often in a bad sense.
Yeah.
So something physically or morally unclean was a contagion. So contagious comes from the word com, meaning together, with, and tangere, meaning touch, as intangible.
Right.
Right? So contagious is related to the word tangible. Tangible things are things you can touch, right? So contagious means with touch, right? So it's something, touching or contact in a bad sense that gets you sick. You're contagious. Okay, let's see. Javad, yes, I know there's a significant difference between the comments and when I'm, speaking. That's because there are many people and many comments, and it takes me time to answer them all, so you must be patient. Okay? Recipe and prescription are both risetta in Italian. There you go.
Very interesting.
Right, there you go. Yeah. So there you go. Ornella, that makes sense to me now too. Okay, stamina. Let's look at the word stamina.
Sue Woo with some good words.
Stamina comes from the Latin word stamina, meaning threads. So the original meaning of stamina actually means the rudiments or original elements of something. That's interesting.
I wonder if that's almost like a rope, and as the rope starts to break, it loses stamina.
Wait a minute. Let me read a little more. Actually, it's related to the word stamen.
Like a flower?
And a flower, right. Because stamens look like threads, I think. Stamen is in weaving the thread of the warp. Let's see. So it's the pollen-bearing organ of the flower. Wow, that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
And the classical plural of the word stamen is stamina.
So I guess it is almost like as the threads would break, that would be the test of its stamina.
Right.
As the fabric would come apart, that would you would lose stamina.
So it means the sense of power to resist or recover strength or endurance.
Right.
So that one. So yeah, it's what is the principal support of anything? What are the threads that are holding it together, right? And how strong are those threads? Mm-hmm. That's the stamina, right? How much can those threads take before they break? Yeah. Inflamed.
Yeah, stamina. I never would have guessed that. It was from flower stamen.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, that's why, again, I love etymology that way. Every once in a while you just see something and you're like, oh, well, that's right. Like intangible. I didn't know. Okay, that makes sense too.
Right.
When those words are connected and you hear the tangible part, meaning to touch or be able to touch something. Okay, so inflamed comes from the Latin word inflammare, meaning to set on fire or to set to kindle. So the original word means what it means.
Yeah.
It means to make flame, to make fire. And so we use it figuratively now when we talk about medical things like your muscles or your body or your
inflammation.
Right, inflammation. That's right. As though it's on fire because it's swollen. Right. Latin is the basis of so many words. That's right. Yeah, and for you as an Italian, that gives you an advantage.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I was rewatching The Sopranos too, and he's like, in the Romans, where are they now?
You're looking at him.
You're looking at
Yeah,
him.
that's right. I remember that one. Yeah.
Oh, I love that show.
Me too. Yeah. Receta is also in Spanish for recipe and prescription.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay. Some people say Latin is useless to study as a dead language. So I think Latin is useless to study as a language to speak.
Yeah.
But I think Latin is an interesting language to study as a root language to understand.
Yeah. As a resource.
English and Italian and Spanish and Portuguese and, all the Romance languages. I think it has a great value for that. Let's do resilience.
I feel like we did resilience.
Did we?
I mean, maybe.
Resilience comes from the Latin word resilience, meaning resiliere, meaning to rebound or recoil. Meaning again or back, and celere, meaning to jump or leap. So resilience means its ability to jump back. Meaning again, and zilere meaning to jump.
Yeah.
So yeah, resilience means your ability to jump back.
And they have sort of different descriptions, but resilience and stamina are very similar in actual meaning.
And actually, this word is related to the word salient and also result. Salient originally means leaping.
Huh.
It means to leap originally. So now when we think of it being salient, it means like pointing outward, or it's obvious or something, right? A projection, because it jumped
jumping
out.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my 1000th live stream. Hello from Mexico, Uriel. Hola. That's right, Carmen. That's what resilience means. What we're doing now, Carmen, is we're looking at the original meaning of the word, the etymology of the word, where the root of the word comes from. And this is originally from Latin, and it originally means it's something's ability to jump back. So that makes sense when you think about the modern definition of it. Yeah. Where are we from? We are from the Cincinnati, Ohio area. And etymology, I've done that one before, but we'll do it again because it's a fun one. What is the etymology of etymology?
Yeah. Etymon.
Yeah. So etymon means the true sense of something. Etymon means the true sense of something, or etymos means true or real. And ology means the study. So etymology means the study of the true sense or original meaning of things. Prescription. So prescription and proscription and description are all related. So prescription is telling you things. Let me make sure I get this right. Let me make sure. I think it's, if I remember right, prescription is what you should do, proscription is what you shouldn't do, and description is just
what it is.
What it is. That's exactly right. Yeah. So pre meaning before, and script meaning scribe, to write. So a prescription is something that your doctor writes for you, before, and then you take that when you're sick, right? So let me just get the full prescription. So it means to write before, right? Because your dad, you're not your dad, your doctor, you have to go to your doctor. Yeah, it could be your dad. Yeah. Your doctor has to give you the prescription in advance for you to get medicine, right? Yeah. And yeah, scribere meaning to write. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sue. Thank you very much. Why doesn't the other guy speak? He does.
I thought I was speaking.
He's a puppet.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to move my hands to get him to speak.
Otherwise, I just sit here like this.
Yeah. Only one of us can speak at the same time because he's a puppet. Antagonist is a good one. So antagonist. Antagonist comes from the word anti, meaning against, and let's see. And what is it? Agonizethai. Ooh, that's a hard one. Agonizethai, meaning to contend for a prize. So the antagonist is the person who is struggling against you for the prize. right? So antagonist, anti meaning against, and agonizathai meaning to try to win a prize or contend for a prize.
Mostly used in a literary sense.
That's right. Yeah, almost always.
Yes,
We almost
the bad guy.
don't use that word unless you're in an English class and they're talking about who's the antagonist in this book.
The bad guy in a book or film or something.
That's right.
Like that.
Yeah. Forecast, Fore, means before, right? And cast, the original meaning means it means to throw.
Yeah.
It means to throw something, right? So a forecast is the
A projected,
you're projecting,
yeah.
you're saying words that you think will happen in the future, so you're throwing them, right? So yeah, that's what forecast means. Yeah. For meaning before, and casten meaning to prepare or contrive a plan, but originally cast means to throw. Yeah. Did I change my haircut? Yeah, it grew and it fell out.
He's thinking about a mohawk.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, right. Yeah. I change my hair all the time, or it changes for me.
I basically just buzz my hair because
Yeah.
there's not much left.
Yeah, I'm reaching that point too.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. Yeah. Towards versus forwards. There's a bunch of words, W-A-R-D words.
Words.
So forward. Not forewarn. Forward. Oops. Forward. For means in the front. The fore of an area, the fore of the boat, right, was the front of the boat. And ward means... it means where you're pointed towards, right? So your ward is the direction that you're looking, right? So forward means the direction you're looking is front. Backward would be the direction you're looking is back. Okay? Onward means you're going on, right? Yeah. There are a few words, a few other ones too. I'm trying to think of what they are. Afterward, right? Awkward. That was the other one.
Awkward was the one I was thinking of too.
Right.
I was like,
Awkward means to be turned in the wrong direction to do something, right? So if you're trying to ride a bicycle but you're facing the wrong direction of the bike, then it's awkward.
yeah, and we looked at it. Wasn't it on your back? Wasn't that like
That's
how
right.
awkward
Yeah.
is like, yeah,
That's right.
is-
Yeah. Behind, in, back, in the rear. Yeah. Aftward, awkward, backward, downward, eastward, homeward.
Does it have anything to do with wart, like stalwart? Like
No, it's related to the Proto-Indo-European word wer, were. It's which means to cover.
okay, yeah. And that you're covering the distance as you move forward, I would imagine. Or
Let's see.
backward.
What's it say here again? Yeah, the original notion is just where you're turned towards, like whichever direction you're looking. That's the original. The word just means that. It just means where you're
and
looking.
It comes from the word for cover. Is like rever?
Yeah. It
if
comes
that's
from
like
the word meaning to cover.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like what your eyes are covering at the time. You know,
It could be.
I mean, it's just
Let's see.
an inference.
Well, it actually does have another meaning of land. So, you know,
Yeah.
the land you're looking at.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, optimistic and pessimistic. Okay, let's do those. Those are good ones.
Yeah, similar to antagonist and protagonist, but maybe their viewpoints.
So optimist, optimism. The Latin word optimus means the best. So Optimus Prime,
Yes.
right? And so the optimum results,
Yes.
right? The best results, right? So optimism means that you always have a tendency to think about the best possible thing, the best possible result, right? And pessimism comes from the word pessimist, which means worst or bottom-most. So yeah, optimists imagine the best results, pessimists imagine the worst results. Okay? Ramble, to ramble,
Ramble on.
yeah.
Now time is now.
Rambling on, yeah. So to ramble is to wander about in a leisurely manner, which probably comes from the
Amble?
the word roam. To roam, R-O-A-M, to roam.
And it is similar to amble, which is funny that it doesn't actually,
Yeah.
it's not really related to it.
Well, no,
but-
it
oh.
does. Well, let's see. What does this say here? Rambling? No, I guess not. That is interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It doesn't have a relationship to amble.
But it
It sounds
definition-wise,
like
it
it does.
sort
Yeah,
of
right. It does.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do just a couple more. We're talking about English etymology, so you can give me the name, give me a word, and I'll tell you where it comes from and what it originally meant. And sometimes there are cool stories there about those. Okay. You want to ask a question that whether all ears English is useful? Huh? 什么意思?
I wonder if that's because then the other question is your ESL podcast. So I wonder if that's like a channel or something. All
Are you
Ears
asking?
English or
No,
something,
are you?
maybe.
Yeah, all ears English. 我不知道是什么，我还没听这个。我觉得如果你干脆就是可以帮你，那好啊，可以啊。如果你觉得这是帮助的，那好啊，可以啊。If you think it's helpful, then great, then use it. I'm not familiar with that one. Notion. We're just going to do a couple more words, guys. Notion comes from the Latin word notionum, meaning a concept or an idea. And that comes from the old word nocere, meaning to come to know. And that's where we get the word agnostic from. And the Gnostics.
Yeah. Notionum is the original.
That's right. There are a bunch of GNO words. Acknowledge, agnostic,
Agony. No.
cognition.
I'm thinking of a different word.
Cognizance, connoisseur. Let's see, diagnosis. All those GN words, all those GNO words, those words are all related to the word nocere, meaning to come to know something. To know something.
Wonder if it's Cro-Magnon Man.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. What is your favorite Al Pacino movie, Clay?
Dog Day Afternoon.
Dog Day Afternoon. I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That guy. He's like holding up the.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah. With the guy who was in The Godfather, who played Fredo, and then that actor passed away when he was real young of cancer. But he's in that movie too. I love Dog Day.
Is that the one where he robs the
bank?
bank?
He holds up the bank
Oh, I
and he's
love
in there.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's gay. No, I love that
Yeah.
one. That is a really underrated
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Okay, that's my favorite Al Pacino movie too. I
Yeah.
just couldn't remember the name of
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah, I love that one. That one's good. Okay, let's see who else. All right, guys. Well, let's see. It is, what time is it? Almost 12 o'clock. Almost 12 o'clock. Before I forget, this is my 1,000th live stream. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to follow me, go to my link tree right there. You can find my website, which, by the way, my website is new and improved. Let's see if I can show that very quickly. Let me share my screen and you guys can see my website for a quick minute. If you want English lessons, if you want private lessons, then go to my website and you can sign up and you can get private lessons with me. So yeah, go to afiecenglish.com and you can get lessons with me. All right? So once again, go to this link right here. If you go to this link that I just put in the chat, you can find my website, which I just showed you. You can find my YouTube channel, which has many, many videos. You can find my podcast and everything else that I have to follow too. Okay, so please go sign up and follow. And once again, yeah, this has been my 1,000th live stream. 1,000 live streams on Hello Talk. It's amazing. I've been here for, I don't know, a couple of years, 2.5 years, something like that.
That's a lot of work in 2.5 years, honestly. That's a lot of streams in that short period of time.
That's right, yeah. And let's see, what is the number of, let's do a calculation here. So I've done, this will be number 1,000 and 104,000 minutes. Let's see, what is that? 104,000 minutes. That's 1,733 hours, or
well, it was like 70-something days.
72 days straight. Yeah, I have been on this camera 72 days, 24 hours a day. Yeah. So, so thank you guys for watching and thank you guys for following. You know, Kaya was amazing. Kaya, I don't know if you can still watch or hear, but Kaya was beyond my expectations, and I'm so looking forward to making her a regular part of my streams.
She was awesome.
Because, you know, somebody who performs that well deserves an audience.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for us today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following. This is Teacher Clay. I'm Teacher Mark. We are here regularly Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes I'm here a little bit more than that. But make sure you follow and come back and see us again sometime. And have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening wherever you live in the world. And don't forget to be a language warrior, guys. She proves it. If you want to be a musician, you have to be a performer. You have to be able to perform in front of people. It's a performance, right? Language is a performance, too.
And she did it in multiple languages
as
well.
Right. So, and even new songs that she's not done before. That's spectacular. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks again, and we will see you guys next time, okay?
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.